Hi Truthers, welcome back to my channel, Nutritious Lives and the Wellbeing Guinea Pig. Today's going to be a relatively short video and it's to do with anxiety. It's part of what I have previously talked about, however it's a little bit more specific to do with the healing journey and how sometimes our mind tricks us into thinking that we're not as progressed as we would think. So for me, and I feel like this is really relevant because I want to, before I start the content of the video, I want to talk to you about why I always say to you to get things on a intellectual level first, right? So what I mean by that is for you to understand the mechanism of action when it comes to anxiety. Firstly, to be able to make a difference and put what we learn into practice, we have to integrate it on an intellectual basis, right? So this is why I always say that you can't skip these levels or this part of it because it's all part of it. We have to get things on an intellectual basis before we can then start walking into those changes. And this is how I've done it and how I want to pass on this knowledge to you. So specifically what I'm talking about today is having setbacks and how our brain tricks us into thinking that we're not as far progressed on our journey as we thought. So again, this flies into the primitive way that we still function. So our brain, our nervous system, the way it communicates is still very much on a very primitive way of, survival basically. And evolution will change that because modern day society, we won't survive as a species unless we evolve. But that being said, again, I'm digressing because I love to do that. But for today, I want to just talk about the brain and the way it communicates and the pathways. But I'm not going to go into all of it because it's very complex and that would take a long time. So I just want to go on to this specific point. So when we're having setbacks with our progression, with our journey, walking through anxiety and getting to the end goal, which is anxiety free, it's inevitable for us to have these setbacks. But when we have these setbacks, what happens is our communicational systems within our brain, so namely for today's purposes, the amygdala, and that is our fear centre, that is what activates our fight and flight. Our amygdala communicates with our hippocampus. So our hippocampus is responsible for memory. So what happens is when we have these setbacks and when we're put back into a state of fight and flight from the amygdala, it stops us to being able to activate memories that are realistically our journey of how far we've actually come. So it restricts our access to the feelings of, we're healing. This is good. Every day we're getting better. It blocks off the access to those memories. And what it does is it loops us back to those memories of when we're in survival mode. So this is so important because what I want you to do is when you're having these setbacks, I want you to sit in that space of acceptance. I talk about this all the time, but sit in that space of acceptance and articulate that to your brain. Now we know the response here now, my state at the moment, because everything is always about our state in that present moment. So my state at the moment is telling me, what's all this about? Like I haven't even come on this healing journey. I'm exactly the same. And the reason being, like I said, is because we're restricted with the memories, right? So when you can actually say that to your brain or write that down and look at that, it won't change your state right there and then. However, that will bring the anxiety down, because you know this is very normal. So I don't want to go on with this video, because you know I can talk for England, but I wanted to make that point to you. So write it down, you know, write these things down that I've talked about on the videos of setbacks and how the brain works together, how it interlinks. Write it down, put it on a little dictaphone, so when you're having those bad moments, you can refer back to it and sit in that state of acceptance. But then knowing that once this state has ended, because every state ends, every state changes, we feel something else, it's inevitable, but allow the state to change and think to yourself, right, I'm going to be able to pick up again on that healing journey. And what that will mean is the setbacks won't be drawn out. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed today's video. It's quite a quick one. I'm limited with my time, hence that I've really sort of crammed it in. But any questions about this, any questions about setbacks and the functionality and the communication within the brain and the nervous system, please reach out. You know, I'm here and I'm more than happy to answer any questions. So click the like, subscribe and the little bell icon, so when I upload videos they can come straight to you. But thanks for listening today. I hope you have a wonderful, blessed day, and I will see you in the next one.